Hello, friends. Today we're in central Kentucky in a town called Hodgenville. It's also the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln and the home of the first Lincoln Memorial. Welcome, friends. The very first Lincoln Memorial, right outside the visitor center of Lincoln's birthplace. Good, how are you? Well, it's one-way traffic here in the gift shop, so we're starting in here, but I brought my passport book, and guess what? There is a cancellation stamp here. Pennies. I am super stoked about this one. It looks like there's more than one stamp back here, am I right?
There are a couple. There's that one.
This is the first time I haven't stamped it myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Had to move on to another section of the book.
One. This is a big one. There you go.
Cool. There's an exhibit of all kinds of artifacts from Lincoln's life. First one here is his family Bible.
What were you asking him if he went where?
Sickle is what it's called. A draw knife is for shaving wood, so it'll make it more smooth.
Abraham Lincoln's dad was a woodworker, a well-known one in Elizabethtown nearby. He made this table. This is a slice of a white oak tree that was in front of Lincoln's property. It sprouted in 1781. It was around all the way through his life, and it was pretty cool. It was right there on the fence line of his property.
Abraham had many day-to-day chores on the farm. And sometimes it was almost unbearably difficult.
There's not much out here. It's the Lincoln Memorial, and there's the hotel, historical hotel, and some lodges that were built here a long time ago when the automobile just first came around and people started to get into these roadside attractions. People started coming out here to see the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln. And they built this Nancy Lincoln Inn back here. One fella did. It's pretty neat. In case you were wondering, it's 52 steps to the top. From what I understand, within these walls is the boyhood home of Abraham Lincoln, or a memorial to which later on in years they found out it wasn't the actual log home, but they made this memorial to immortalize our president as somebody who gave our country hope and opportunity, and they wanted to make some lasting effort to remember what he did for us. So right within these doors is that home that many people went off course just to see. Let's go take a look. Even though it's not the actual boyhood home of Abraham Lincoln, it's still cool to see this and know that a lot of people came here to pay respects to him and to reflect on these positive things that he did for us. So it's still a really cool piece of history. There is a lock holding us back from seeing the whole thing. This is as close as I can get you. Right behind the memorial is this nice pathway. It goes on a trail where you can see where the white oak tree was that we saw the slice of in the museum. A little different than the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, but still very cool. Just on this slope, on the right side of the memorial, are some springs. On this plaque out in front of the spring tells some history about it. This is likely where Abraham Lincoln took his first drink of water. It's very cool down here. It's probably 10 degrees cooler at the top of the steps. Not exactly what it would have looked like when Abe was living here, but it's still cool to think about that being the water source for their farm. And assumably, Thomas, his dad, bought this property because of that being here. So says the plaque. Really cool place, huh? Well, the sign says, please come in, but this sign says no trespassing. This was a very cool memorial, and even though that's not exactly where Abraham Lincoln was born, his childhood cabin is pretty nearby, and although it's closed for some construction and COVID, let's go see if we can take a look at it. I'm not going to be here for long. This place is closed, but I came all the way out here. I want to see at least what is going on here. What if the house is here or what? I assume that this building that I'm looking at is not the home. The placard on the side of the house over there talked about the Lincoln Tavern being about 10 miles from here. And I know from learning in the video that I saw at the museum, that is the house of Abraham Lincoln's friend that saved him from drowning when he was a kid. Some of you might know that story. But I am a little unclear on the nature of this home, if this was in fact where Abe spent his childhood, or if this is a replica. I'm not really sure, but let's see what I can find out. Regardless of what this house actually is, this is cool to be at Knob Creek. This is the Knob Creek farm. And this is where Abraham spent most of his time as a young man, learning nature, learning hunting, and just living off the land. It's a good energy here. Well, thanks for joining me today, friends, on this exploration of the childhood experience of Abraham Lincoln, my favorite president. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you in the next video.